This lecture is all about the synthesis and the chemical reactions of 1,3-oxathiolium 4-olate mesoionic molecule, which actually belongs to the type A category. Okay, so starting with the nomenclature part first, I will not be going into the details of the nomenclature, but I just want to give you a rough idea from where to start the numbering of such mesoionic compounds so that we can arrive at a suitable name, right? So as you can see here, there are present two different heteroatoms in this 5-membered cyclic ring structure. And regarding the rules here, I can say that the first preference goes to the oxygen family, right? And after that, at second slot comes the nitrogen family, I mean the nitrogen and the phosphorus. And finally, the third preference is for our carbon family, right? And among the family members, like in this family, we have oxygen, sulfur, and selenium. Among the family members, the preference goes like this here, right? So this means if in some heterocyclic molecule, like in the present case, both oxygen and sulfur are present, the first preference definitely going to the oxygen atom and the second will go to the sulfur atom, right? So that without any doubt here we can number it in this way, means starting from the oxygen atom. But as you can see here, there are two possible directions from which I can start numbering. The first one is this and the second one is this. And obviously, if I will be going in this direction, number 4 will come to this sulfur atom, which is actually a higher number as compared to if in this direction I will be moving, it will be getting number 3. Okay, so that now I can write here number 2 and it will be 3 here, and then the fourth number will come here like this. Okay, so that now I can write the name of this mesoionic molecule. At position 1 I am having what? I am having oxa, and at position 3 I am having a thio, means the sulfur, so I can write here thiolium, right? And on position 4, because I am having a single bond oxygen negative, which we used to call it as the olate, so the name of this particular mesoionic molecule will be what? It will be 1,3-oxathiolium 4-olate, right? And now comes the synthesis part. You can see here we want to synthesize this mesoionic molecule. Let me again write its name. It is 1,3-oxathiolium, oxathiolium. At 4 we are having olate, right? Now what type of reactant should we start with and what type of reagent should be taken here such that the combination of this and this will lead us to this type of mesoionic molecule. In order to have some insight into this type of synthesis, we can take the help of the retrosynthetic analysis, which is actually based upon the logical type of thinking, right? So what we can do here is that if we really want to synthesize this type of mesoionic molecule, we can start from something reasonable, something logical here, instead of taking something random reactant as well as the reagent. We can start from something or some molecule which will be similar to this product molecule. Okay, so what we can do here is we can think of some imaginary type of cleavage here in the product molecule so that we can arrive at some imaginary type of fragment here corresponding to which we can start from some reactant, adding some reagent, leading to the formation of this type of mesoionic product here. Okay, so what we can do is we can think of a cleavage from this point here. And why we are selecting this point? Because it is actually resembling a functional group, something like sulfur single bond, carbon double bond, oxygen here. Okay, and let me remind you, this is what this is actually a thio type of ester. Let me write here a thio ester. Okay, so now the main thing about this synthesis is that yes, we can start from R1 single bond, and then this will be a double bond sulfur here. single bond, oxygen, single bond, one R2 group here, and this will be what? This carbon atom, I mean this one here, which the bond in between this sulfur and carbon we have cleaved, imaginary talking. Okay, so this will be a double bond, oxygen and one hydroxyl group here like this. Okay, so what I mean to convey here is that instead of starting from something random, we can start from some reactant which actually resembles our product molecule, right? So here the idea is that because this part of our product molecule actually resembles this type of thioester, so what we can do is we can start from some reactant molecule in which rest of the atoms are there, but there is no bond in between this sulfur and this carbon atom, right? In between this sulfur and this carbon atom, I mean, right? Now, chemistry wise talking, the formation of thioester molecule is feasible, right? So what we can do is we can start from such a reactant in which a double bond sulfur is there, in which a carbon having a carboxylic type of group is there, and we can think of the joining of this sulfur atom with this carbon atom, because yes, a lot of methods are available for the formation of thio type of esters, right? So when the reaction will take place in between this part of the molecule and this part of the molecule, what will happen is it will result in the formation of this kind of thioester, and what will happen is ring formation will take place when this will get joined to this carbon atom here, and this will serve our purpose for the synthesis of this kind of mesoionic molecule, right? So now what should be the mechanism of such a reaction? So definitely we can start from this type of carboxylic acid here, and the reagent which we will be taking here is what it is: CH3, C double bond O, oxygen, C double bond O here, and CH3 means acetic anhydride, right? Now, the acetic anhydride is what? It is a dehydrating agent. So definitely a molecule of water will be going out from here. I mean OH will go out from here, and one H from this part of the molecule, resulting in the linkage in between this sulfur atom and this carbon atom here, so that we will get this type of cyclic ring structure. Okay, so mechanism will be like we are having one R1 here, a single bond, double bond, sulfur here like this, then oxygen, single bond, R2 here like this, single bond, double bond oxygen, and one OH here. This is the carboxyl part, right? Now, this lone pair on this oxygen atom, they are present in resonance like this here, and in the presence of H positive ion, let us say these positive ions are coming from the solvent, so it will result in the formation of R1 single bond. This will now become a single bond, S negative. This will now become a double bond, oxygen here, single bond. We are having one R2 here like this, and what is present here is C double bond O and OH here, right? Now, when this S negative will interact with these protons, definitely it will result in the formation of S and H here, and this charge here will be neutralized, right? And do not forget to put a positive sign here on this oxygen atom, because it is forming 3 bonds right here, right? Now, after that, when we will be adding our dehydrating agent, I mean the acetic anhydride, let me write here the dehydrating agent, which is what? Which is the acetic anhydride. What will happen is it will result in the removal of a molecule of water, and from where that molecule of water will be going, it will be from OH from here and H from here, such that now it will result in the formation of a bond in between the sulfur and this carbon atom here, right? So that now I can write here my R1 single bond, the single bond here, sulfur, which will now be having a bond with this carbon atom, to which one oxygen double bond is attached, and here is the R2 substituent like this, and on this side I am having what? Oxygen with a positive sign, and it is like this, right? And now you people know that this type of structure here, it can be transformed into an equivalent type of structure which will be like this here, right? So this is the mechanism for the synthesis of this mesoionic molecule, which is 1,3-oxathiolium 4-olate, and we can call this type of reaction as a cyclodehydration type of reaction. Okay, why we are calling it as a cyclodehydration? Because it is resulting in the formation of a cyclic structure, which you can see here, with the aid of a dehydration type of step, means the removal of a molecule of water. And now comes the structural representation part. You can see here, this is one of the representation for our mesoionic molecule, but there are also present some other ways by which the same molecule can be represented. Now, how that will be helpful for us? The second type of representation will help us in understanding the mechanisms, I mean the reaction mechanisms of these mesoionic molecule with some other substrates. Okay, and the reaction involved is a type of a 1,3-dipolar cycloaddition. So with those structural representations, the mechanisms can be understood quite easily as compared to this type of structural representation, right? So what we will be doing here is we will try to convert or to transform this type of structural representation into some other useful and easy type of structure, with the help of which we can study the mechanisms quite easily, right? Now, there are present two possible ways to do this or to transform this structure into a more useful type of structural representation. The first way is what it is. It is like the 5-membered ring is present like this. Oxygen and sulfur are the two heteroatoms here. Let us say this is the first way in order to transform this type of representation into the other type of representation. And let us say here is my second way. And at the end, what we will see here is that by both these ways, we will be arriving at a similar type of representation. Okay, so it is up to you now that whether you want to use the first way or the second way in order to transform this type of mesoionic structure into a useful type of structure, right? So the second way is like what it is, this 5-membered ring here. Once again, let me draw, containing two heteroatoms, oxygen and sulfur. The first way is what that we can think of an axis of symmetry that is passing through the oxygen atom, and in the second way we can think of an axis of symmetry passing through the sulfur atom like this. Okay, and now what we need to do is we need to put two double bonds which should be parallel to this axis and to this axis here. Okay, so if we talk about this axis, the two double bonds parallel to this will be what? It will be the first double bond, and here will be the second double bond, right? And as far as this second case is concerned, the two double bonds parallel to this axis of symmetry, it will be first double bond here and second double bond here like this, right? So now the next thing which we will be doing here is what that, let me draw the substituents as well here, means the R1 is present here, single bond oxygen negative, and here is present my R2 like this, and in the same way we are having one R1, then is the R2 here, single bond oxygen negative, right? And now because oxygen here is forming 3 bonds, so do not forget to put a positive sign here, and in the same way a positive sign here on the sulfur atom like this, right? So now what we can do is we can draw a resonating structure for this molecule, which will be like what? Which will be like this here, mean this negative bond will, negative charge will shift here, sending these electrons onto this atom, and because oxygen is having 2 lone pair of electrons, so shifting of lone pair of the oxygen like this, sending these electrons onto the sulfur atom in this way, such that here I can write R1 single bond, this will now become a single bond sulfur, a double bond oxygen here having a positive sign definitely. Single bond, this will be a double bond oxygen. This will now become a single bond having R2 here and definitely a negative charge on this carbon atom bearing this R2 group, right? And now what will happen in this case? In this case, the resonance will be like this negative charge coming here, sending these electrons onto this carbon atom such that I can draw here this R1 single bond sulfur double bond oxygen here having this positive charge, a single bond, and then I can complete the rest of the structure in this way here, right? So that now you can compare this structure, this structure which is coming from the first strategy, and then this structure here which is coming from the second strategy. It is one and the same thing, right? So now at the end we can say here that if this is our mesoionic compound, it can be represented by this way here, or let us say by this way here, which is one and the same thing. These two structures are exactly equivalent. The only thing is that now when we will be dealing with the reactions of this mesoionic molecule, by considering this type of structure or this type of structure, it will be quite easy for us to understand the mechanism part instead of considering this type of structure, right? So this is the significance of the structural type of representations in case of mesoionic molecules. Actually, this mesoionic and this is the same thing, right? This mesoionic and this is the same thing. It is just a way of representation, right? So better to represent it in this way or in this way here. It is one and the same thing in order to get more clarity about the mechanism of the reactions of these mesoionic molecules. Now you can see here a chemical reaction is given for that mesoionic molecule. This is the mesoionic molecule for which we are discussing the synthesis as well as the chemical properties, and it is what it is my 1,3 dipole also, right? Because it is a mesoionic molecule that belongs to type A category, so they can behave as 1,3 dipoles, right? And on this side what I am having is it is a symmetrical type of alkyne molecule, symmetrical type of alkyne, which will act as a dipolarophile in this reaction. Okay, so this dipolarophile here will react with this 1,3 dipole with a reaction known as, you people know already, it is 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition reaction, 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition reaction, finally giving us a product something like this, which is actually a furan molecule, right? It is a furan molecule, and as it contains different types of groups here, so better to call it as a substituted type of furan, right? So now let us see what type of mechanism will be there. What we need to do is, first of all, we need to convert this mesoionic structure into some more useful type of structure which we just have discussed on our previous slide, and that can be done quite easily by saying that it is what this is equivalent to R1 single bond 1 sulfur here, double bond oxygen having a positive charge, single bond, and here is my R2 having a negative charge, and this will be what a double bond oxygen here, right? So this is my 1,3 dipole, and what I want is I want to make it to react with my symmetrical type of alkyne, which is my dipolarophile. And now the interaction will be like what? Because it is a symmetrical type of dipolarophile, so there are no issues of regioselectivity. The negative charge of this 1,3 dipole, it can interact with any of these two carbon atoms. Let us say it is interacting with this. So when this interaction will start, this bond here will begin to break, and a new bond in between this carbon atom and this one here will begin to generate or form here, right? And in the same way, this bond will also begin to break, such that we will get this type of transition state here. And after that, I can show here the formation of a cyclic type of adduct that will be something like this here, right? So a bond in between this carbon atom and this one here having R1 group, a single bond, sulfur here, single bond, a carbonyl group, and it is attached to this carbon atom to which one R2 substituent is attached, and this carbon atom here and this one here, they are attached with each other with the help of a bridged oxygen atom, right? Now after that, this is our cyclic adduct here, and now we have to see here that whether the release of the carbonyl sulfide can take place here or not, right? So it all depends upon the stability of the charges here that will come at this carbon atom as well as at this carbon atom after the release of this part of the molecule in the form of the carbonyl sulfide, right? Now we can say here that when these electrons will be going to this sulfur atom, what is going to happen is it will result in the formation of E single bond carbon, double bond carbon here, then this E here, a single bond to which this R1 is attached, and then the rest of the molecule as it is, this bridged oxygen here as it was in the previous structure, and now this is attached to this carbonyl here, then a sulfur. Now it will be having a negative charge, right? Because both the electrons of this bond pair, they are going to this sulfur atom, and such that it will now be having a positive charge here, right? Now after that, we will be doing the next step only if we are sure enough that this positive charge is stabilized here at this carbon atom, right? So now there are two possible factors by which we can say that yes, this positive charge is stabilized here. The first thing is that the two lone pairs which are present on this oxygen atom, they are giving their electrons like this, resulting in the formation of what? Oxygen double bond, this carbon atom having R1, a situation something like this, right? Although a positive charge will now appear on this oxygen atom, but it is definitely trying to disperse the positive charge here on this carbon atom with the help of an electron releasing resonance effect, right? So I have not drawn here the rest of the molecule. It was just for your understanding, right? And the second thing here is by which we can say that yes, this positive charge is stabilized here. It is what that these two electrons of the pi bond in between this carbon and this carbon atom, they can also come here because of resonance, and we will be having a scenario something like this will now become a single bond, this will now become a double bond here, and to this one R1 is attached and the rest of the molecule is present as it is, such that now this positive charge will now be present on this carbon atom because of this resonance, right? This means whatever positive charge is present here, that is being dispersed in between this carbon, I mean this carbon atom here and this carbon atom here, right? So we all know that the dispersal of charge means stability. So finally we can say that yes, this positive charge here is stabilized, and this type of bond cleavage from here is possible, giving a positive charge here and a negative charge here on this side, right? And after that, as usual, this negative electrons will shift here, sending these electrons onto this atom, resulting in the formation of what? Resulting in the formation of E single bond carbon, double bond carbon, single bond E here, and here is my carbon atom having R1 with a positive sign, single bond oxygen, single bond this carbon atom having R2 on which a negative charge is present, I mean this carbon atom, right? So a bond here in between this and this. So finally what will happen is a resonance will take place here, these electrons will shift here, and these pi electrons will shift here in between this carbon and this carbon atom, finally resulting in the formation of what? This type of substituted furan molecule, right? So this is the mechanism of this 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition reaction occurring in our mesoionic molecule, which was this 1,3-oxathiolium 4-olate acting as a 1,3 dipole with this type of symmetrical alkyne acting as a dipolarophile, giving this type of transition state, followed by the formation of a cyclic adduct which will undergo the release of a carbonyl sulfide because the positive charge here is stabilized because of two different factors, finally resulting in the formation of a substituted type of furan derivative, right? So this is all about the synthesis and the chemical reactions of 1,3-oxathiolium 4-olate molecule, which is our third mesoionic compound from the type A category. So this is all about this lecture here. Thank you so much.